Okay, so the last part of that got cut off, so I'm just going to explain it to you. This needs a special tool to take off these fuel lines. These can be picked up off of Amazon, super cheap. They're just a quick disconnect tool. So basically, you just put it on here and you slide it. And with the fuel line on there, you slide it towards this little plastic tool and you push them together, and then you're able to pull it back. Just because there's little metal pieces, or like there's the fitting has little pieces of metal that hook onto this ridge here, and basically what you're doing is pushing those pieces of metal up with this plastic piece, and you're able to just slide it off. So both of them are super easy to do and not that bad. So after that, the intake is ready to come off. All that's super not super easy to get out is well, it's not that bad, but if it just kind of gets in the way. If you want to make it more simpler, you can just take off this basically this pipe that connects both of the fuel rails together, and you can take that off so you don't have to worry about breaking this evap line that runs up to the top of here. So this is the front of it. This is where the throttle body connects. So yeah. Okay, from here I'm just gonna clean up the intake and then take these gaskets off and clean. You know, it just clips on. I mean, it's just one piece, so as you can see. And then I'm gonna clean up all this because it's just, they're always super disgusting. And why I did this job is I was doing the knock sensors. Super easy job. They're just located right there. They're just a little rubber grommet, basically just keep out the moisture from there, and they're located inside of there. They take a 22 millimeter socket to take them off. As you can see, they're pretty gross, disgusting. So I'll clean that up and throw it back on. Okay, so now that is all cleaned up, I'm just going to pull these gaskets off from the intake on each side, and then I'm just going to clean the other part of the gasket is touching, so I guess the intake side, and clean that all up. And then I got some new gaskets here. I'm just going to throw them on, and then I'm just going to put it back together. So pretty much just the same way you took it apart. Just be careful with, you know, the evap hose, and just making sure that your line here, the wires and that connector for the knock sensors gets taken up and put back on in the proper place. And that's about it. So I'm just going to hang the camera up and then do that. Okay, so super simple to put that back in. Just slide it in there. Just get all your connectors out of the way, all the connectors for the injectors out of the way. And like I said before, the plug in for the knock sensors, make sure that's up and out of the way so you don't lose it trying to put it back on. Alright, so from here on, just lot of just putting it back together, just connectors, tightening down all the bolts for the intake, and just putting all the covers back on. And so we'll just finish it off and be done with this job. Alright, so it's back together. Yeah, I didn't show everything going back together, but I figured it's you've already taken it apart, so you kind of know where things are at. Just remember just to hook up all your connectors. And the one in the very back on the top, there's a connector on top of there. The knock sensor connector. Let's see, all the injectors. There's a few up here, and there's one on the very top for the evap. Just remember that air hoses, your positive crank ventilation tube that runs from the intake to this side of the valve cover. I'm sure I'm missing something. Just make sure these earlier models, they had the cable driven throttle bodies. Make sure everything's hooked up on that. And then there's just a few screws holding the plate on the back for this cover. And then remember to put this back on. And also, I forgot, you gotta hook up the MAF sensor. Just click that back in, and voila, there you have it. Alright, so thanks for watching. Tune in next time.